I put my trust in you, and I trust in love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love. I put my trust in you, and I trust in love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love.
Hello, friends. My name is Dave Miller.
Hello, friends. My name is Niall Spain. Guess what? We're your
What?
fuck buddies.
Okay, we're a sex and dating advice podcast where we take your sticky, sexy situations and turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
It doesn't matter whether we find your questions online, whether they're sent in from our wonderful listeners. Either way, we're gonna fucking answer them.
We're going to find them. We're going to get them.
We have a set of skills that make questions a nightmare for people like you.
Feel like we have done this. I feel like we have made
we're
taken.
us. We're original every day of our lives. We would
never
never.
repeated a joke.
No. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there.
Ready for some questions?
Yeah.
That's good, because this week we're going to talk about me and my boyfriend broke the bed. I don't know what to do.
Am I the biggest you ever had?
Is being a sleepy guy a turn off?
Feeling weird about feet.
All right. I have feet. This is by Soggy Guard 9676. Boyfriend and I broke the bed while having sex, and I do not know what to do. So me, 16 turning 17, female, and my boyfriend, 16 turning 17, male, have been having sex for some time now. It's amazing, really. My parents are very strict, like no dating till graduation type strict. So I almost never invite them over. Usually I go to his house because it's easier and less stressful. This time, though, my parents had night shifts, and I figured it'd be fine for him to come over. We were literally just watching a movie in my room, fully clothed, nothing weird, until he was like, let's have sex. He didn't phrase it like that, but still. And I was like, sure, because I do. Do it at his place with family isn't around. Even if they are around, we tell them we're going to watch a movie or something because his family isn't strict like mine. At some point during sex, he flopped onto my bed, or I don't know if it was when we were sex. I don't remember. Kind of dramatically. Not even that hard. And the wooden plank / slats under the mattress broke, like snapped, straight down the middle, completely broken. So broken to the point where if I sit, I'm going to fall through. Now I'm freaking out because my parents are definitely going to notice. They're already strict about me having a boyfriend, let alone having him over. I'm scared they're going to find out I had sex, and that's not going to end up well. Thing is, bed isn't even that old. Probably like 5 or 6, which in my house is basically new compared to other beds. It's not like it was falling apart or anything. I'm panicking because they're definitely going to notice, and they already don't love me having my boyfriend over. Scared they're going to assume, or like find out, that I had sex, even though it was genuinely an accident and not even rough. Should I try to fix or replace the planks first, or just mentally prepare to be grounded forever? Any advice appreciated?
Okay. Here's what I will try to say. First, it sucks that you have to, your parents are going to lose their mind. Although, I guess, it's understandable that a parent doesn't want their kid having sex at 16. I get it.
But it's also understandable to want to have sex at 16. I get
100%. It. Yeah. And this is also a good indication of being like, oh, just not addressing sex and not teaching your child about sex isn't going to prevent them from having sex. So the idea of being like, you can't date until it never works. You're never going to.
It just means that if something goes wrong, they can't come to you. And at least in this situation, it's not a big deal. It's a big deal to the kid, but it's fine. But if it was something more dramatic, more serious, more dangerous, they wouldn't come to you. And that kind of sucks.
Also, they just don't have the basic knowledge, presumably, of safe sex and, consent and all these things, right? The more you withhold from your child, the more dangerous it is when it comes to sex.
You're leaving in the education system or their own research, and both of those could turn out real poorly as well.
Or their friends.
Non-existent, yeah.
Right? Learning how many people were like, you can't get pregnant if you stand up right after having sex. That was a legitimate thing that people thought in my high school. And I'm sure around the world is standing up. They can't swim up.
For a long time. Not that long, but for a significant amount of time when I was a child, I found out about periods. Didn't really know much about them, but was also told they were called pyramids. So that's what happens when your friend teaches you about sex.
Yes, exactly. So with that being said, you have a broken bed situation. Here is what you need to do. You need to have a friend over, a girlfriend, and you guys need to be when you come in, your parents need to be there, and they need to be witness to all of this. You guys come in.
Firstly, okay, you go, but I want to know at some point, how many beds have you broken?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you and I have broken a bed together.
That's exactly, yeah. And what did we do? walk away,
We-
pretend it never happened.
We
Oops.
didn't mention anything.
Sorry. Kind of not a good move. I will say that. That was kind of a dick move. But you know what?
100%. That was
You know what?
vacation day denial, and we are
Yeah.
not held to the standards of our or morals or ethics when we are
That sounds-
wrestling.
Much more bad than we are on trips.
we-
We did a little wrestling when we were a little, like, I guess, sleep deprived and drunk. And unfortunately, we did break a bed of a dear friend who was helping us out. But I think it all worked out.
That is our admission. Also, statute of limitations. You can't arrest us. So
It's been that's I've had this question for 5 years. I only
We've been
pulled it
waiting.
out. Yeah.
I'm also pretty sure I broke like a bet or two in like high school and stuff, like literally doing the same thing that we were doing as adults of like wrestling with my friends. And like I remember specifically I don't think it was me actually. One of my friends power bombed another one of my friends.
Yeah.
And
Classic.
as they were lifted up, smoked his head off of the fucking lampshade and shattered it like with his face. And we were like, fuck, this is real bad. He was fine, but he was like, hey, I have the exact same lampshade at home. So he ran home. He like lived down the street. He ran home, grabbed it, stole the lampshade from his house to replace ours to hide it from my parents, which like, I don't know what he told his parents, or like there's still a missing lampshade within
somewhere. Yeah.
the houses of our friend group.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was at a hostel once, and it was like a school trip. We had done like a big hike, and then we were like staying at this hostel kind of like out in the middle of the country in Ireland. And it was like an 8-person like boy dorm. And one of the guys, like we all got in, and one of them was just like lying down in bed, and we were just like, he looks real comfy. And we all just like ran and jumped on him and went all the way through the top bunk and the second bunk below. Like, thank fuck nobody was lying in the bunk below, because I do think it might have killed them.
I mean, this is your teacher's fault for having a boy dorm, right?
Yeah, it was a bad call.
What did
but
they
it's
think
funny
was
because they
going
couldn't
to
have a boy and girl dorm, because then there'd be
Right.
other problems. So it's like just that we were
Beds were getting broken
uncontrollable.
no matter what.
Yeah, one way or another. So we literally hitchhiked to a nearby town, like snuck out, hitchhiked to a nearby town, bought a bunch of duct tape, and like just duct taped the planks back together, which was not a fix. They definitely broke the next time someone got into them.
Yeah, of course.
But that was their problem. So as you can tell, you came to the right person with this question, because we've dealt with it. We've done it all. Hit me, Dame. What's your solution?
okay, you and your friends, or you know, a friend, someone that you're like is like in a good home situation and like is chill and fun. You guys come in, your parents have to be there. You're rambunctious, you're full of energy, you're giggling, you're running, you're pushing, you're blah, 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 like, you know, doing teenage girl things, high energy. You run into your room, they're probably gonna be like, stop running around, and you're like, ah.
Classic
you go
parent
in.
stuff.
Yeah, you need to have a stack of books or something ready. And when you go in, within like 30 seconds, you drop the books real loud to make a nice big bang, and then you go completely silent.
Mm-hmm.
Someone picks up the books, put them back in an inconspicuous place, and then you come out sheepishly and be like, oh, we're sorry. And then no one's gonna, if anyone starts like being like, this is a cover up, it's so fucking chaotic and over the top that like they would unless you sell it poorly, I think you're in the clear.
Oh, we sure did. Like, it was just me and her today that went through the bed right
Yeah.
now, not before with David.
Fucking David.
Now, the thing is, what if friend gets in trouble now? What if your parents are like, you know what? I hate Stacy now. Stacy's a bad influence. So I've got an even safer option. Right? You go, hey, mom, I want to show you something. Bring her into your room. Get her to sit down on the bed. She goes right through, and you go, what the fuck, mom?
Damn, mom, you fat as hell.
Yeah, right? And then, you know, maybe she takes that Peloton app seriously going forward. And that's good for her in terms of her health. It's good for you because your friend doesn't get in trouble. She feels bad. It's not on you. Nobody's at a fault. Or, and I love doing this when I was a kid. You always use something parents don't understand, or something that they already like demonize or villainize. So you come down, you say, I was doing a TikTok thing. And they go, because it checks out. They get it. They're like, 1, we hate TikTok. 2, that's what kids do. 3, TikTok thing could be anything. Could be you jumping on the bed. Could say you were doing a TikTok dance. Say you were emoting. They don't know what that means. They're just going to be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, being like, oh, there's like a TikTok trend right now where you flop on your bed, and I
I flopped too hard.
And the thing is, you could do a video of you flopping very lightly, right? And being like, look, I didn't even do it that hard. You can't be. I wasn't doing anything stupid. I was literally like flopping, and
Yeah.
it's like there's no reason it should have broke from that.
Yeah. And like, look, are you lying? Yes. Is it a malicious lie? No. They need to know about the bed. They don't need to know about you having sex. So I wholeheartedly stand beside this. Obviously, I hope you're having safe sex and you're doing things healthily and all that, but that has no bearing on the bed. So, you getting caught out by this and maybe being put in an unsafe environment or like, it's not worth it. So just do a little white lie. You're a teenager. We all do them.
Yeah, this is the thing. Is like I think there's a lot of things to be navigated with like you being a teenager having sex and your parents not knowing about it and not approving of it and not willing to like talk to you about it. I think there's a lot there to be navigated and talked about, and that's the bigger problem. Unfortunately, there's really nothing we can do about it. Like you as a teenager have very little status within the constructs of your family. I don't really think you could go to your parents and be like, hello, I'm a 16-year-old and I would like to have sex. And here are my reasons why. And here, like, you just, unfortunately, society does not give specifically teenagers much power when it comes to control over their own lives. And I think that's a big reason why teenagers have such a hard time just in general through a number of things. It's like your hormones and puberty are wreaking havoc on your body both physically and mentally, and then you also have you're treated like shit and like an idiot because you're a teenager. And granted, teenagers
You are
typically
you are an idiot, but
act
not
like-
all the time.
yeah, we act like idiots when we're teenagers, but like when it does come time to talk about like important serious topics, you're kind of disregarded for the most part. I know there are plenty of families and parents who emphasize communication with their teens, and I think they're the ones who are
not
not.
mine.
Yeah, and like I mean, even with my family, like who are very progressive and very, I didn't get the birds and the bees talk. I just got an anatomy lesson. Like I was told, like I did. There was no euphemisms. There was no metaphors. There was just like, this is how it works. This is how it happens.
I was very awkwardly handed a book.
Yeah, no,
Read it
so it's like-
yourself.
but there was also sort of like I didn't really tell my parents when I was going over to the girl's house that I was going over to that like I didn't even really know. I knew through a friend who I met on like some shady high school social media site that existed back then. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really know we were fingering and blowjobbing and
like
fooling around.
I was having sex since 15 and I was doing a lot more from a lot earlier than that. And I definitely wasn't fucking telling them.
Yeah.
And like, it wouldn't have benefited me at all because again, I wasn't living in a house that was like very communicative and or like supportive in that way, but also didn't need it because I was self-sufficient and also doing things in a not always the best way, but like, I tried.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that you don't feel safe to talk about to your parents about this kind of stuff or that they know about this stuff. But I don't think it's a unique situation that you're in. But yeah, I don't think there's any harm in lying
Just hit
about
them,
this bed.
hit them with a little TikTok made me do it.
Yeah, TikTok made me do it. What an easy life that is. We didn't have that growing up.
No, we didn't. I had to come up with all sorts of bullshit.
We just hope that your friends had an identical piece of furniture when you broke it. Thankfully, growing up in the 90s, we all had the same fucking shit. Every house had the same thing. This is from Leah. Am I the biggest you ever had? Okay, how do we handle questions like this? I have a bit of a conundrum. Most men I've been with are about the same size. Unfortunately, / fortunately for me, I had an encounter with a man who was shockingly massive, like huge. It was just a weekend fling out of town, and I never saw him again. This was like 10 years ago. Since then, I've had a few partners that were definitely above average, but they maybe had a praise kink? Not sure. But when they threw that question at me, I wasn't sure how to respond. Like, I'm all about honesty, and my first instinct is to be honest in a gentle enough way. But what's the best policy in this situation? Lie?
The best policy is he shouldn't ask the question because he doesn't want to know the answer. He wants to know one specific answer, and it may not be the one you're going to give him. I think this is one of those times where you sidestep by saying you're so fucking big.
Yes.
Have you lied? No. Is he maybe going to be like, whoa, you didn't answer the question? Maybe, but then by that point, you've derailed any sexy time. Like, if you're having sex, he's like, am I the fucking biggest you've ever had? Like, I don't know if you guys want to derail that and get into honesty and really talk about it. So just be like, you're so fucking big. Boom, move on. If he then is like, whoa, you didn't answer, it's up to you. I don't think it's a harmful lie in terms of like, if you say yes and you're okay with doing that, like, he's not going to somehow find out later on, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
And
you're
if he
in direct
does-
control of. Oh, I mean,
of
I guess
that-
unless you brag to friends and then someone's like, "Hey, you remember that massive dong boy you
Yeah.
fucked 10 years ago?"
At which point, if he's upset, you can be like, yeah, I didn't want to hurt your feelings or make you feel bad. Your dick's obviously great. I like it. But yeah, in the moment, it didn't feel right to say, actually, there's somebody bigger.
Actually,
And I think
one
that's,
time 10 years ago.
yeah, I think that's a very fair thing. If anyone's upset that you lied about that, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, you bring up a very good point, and something that we all need to get into the social consciousness of being. Don't ask questions that you want a specific answer to. And not necessarily, because I don't want to say don't ask questions you don't want the answer to, because they do want an answer, but they want a very specific and isolated answer that if they don't get that, it's the same thing as like when you ask people like, how many people have you slept with?
Yeah.
The second you introduce that, like, unless you're so chill and it literally doesn't matter, chances are you're not asking that question anyway.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I don't think I've ever asked anyone how many people they've slept with. And I also, because I don't care.
Mhm.
If it comes up and we're just joking around and sort of like doing a reveal for reveal sort of thing, then yeah, like I'll ask if they're asking. But like it means so little to me, and I would say it means nothing to me. So like, but there are questions like this, like, you know, am I the best you've had? Am I the biggest you had? How many other people have made you come like that? Like those kind of questions, like they want one answer and they want it to be you're the biggest, you're the best, only you. And it's dumb to do that because the likelihood of that answer being true is slim, and getting that answer that you want is going to make you be like, well, is she lying? Right?
Exactly.
And if you're not,
right?
like if you're not going to ask that question, like if you're not going to be like, well, am I though? Then there's no point in asking the question.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're convinced that you are, why are you asking? And if you're going to be weird about it when you like, it's just hold off. If you want a praise cake, be like, do you love this big cock or something? Do you love my cock? Tell me how much you like do that. Don't set yourself up. Don't enter the minefield of bigger cocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no reason that your praise kink needs to come at a S tier ranking video, right? Like you don't need to know that you're the best. You need to know that like this is the one that she wants.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're also putting your partner in such a shitty position because they now are like, do I tell the truth? Do I lie? Do I obfuscate? Which one of those is going to bite me in the ass? Which one of them is going to upset you? And it's not their fault that a guy out there had a bigger dick than you.
Yes.
Like
also,
that's a victimless crime.
unless you're rocking like just the biggest dick, like unless you're like, I would say like over 10 inches, you shouldn't ask this question because like the likelihood that someone probably does have a bigger penis than you, and that this person who, you know, if you know has been sexually active, there's a very good chance that they have come across a larger penis than you. And that's fine.
If you are rocking that 10-inch fucking cannon, you don't need to ask the question. So why are you asking it? Like, your
answer, I think, is the right answer, right? You say something that sounds like a yes. And whether it's like it's so big, it's like it's perfect. I've had one of my favorite compliments is when people say that my dick is perfect, and I know I'm like, yeah, hey, that's a great thing to hear. I don't think you're lying to me because you don't have to say it. But if someone was like, it's the biggest dick, it's so massive, I was like, well,
yeah, that's also weird. The thing. It's like the biggest is like, I don't know if it's necessarily even a compliment necessarily because you could be. Like, it just feels like something that's expected to be said. Like, it feels like they know that that's what you want to hear and blah, 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 blah. I was once called a model cock. And I was like, damn, that's really nice. And it was like a very, like, the second she saw it, like, oh. And I was like, damn, that's gone up there. I think the best compliment it's gotten for sure. You know? So just don't ask the question you don't want to. And, like, answer it however you want. Like, if you want to be honest, you can. I just think it's gonna be a problem. This is like a minefield. This is a trap. It's gonna be.
I guess
insecurity
I'm thinking
city.
if you want to be honest, but still, I think saying I've had bigger, but I haven't had better
Ooh.
might
Yeah,
be
that's
right. Like
it's
that's
better than just,
it's better than like if you really need to be honest. Like if your moral
Or-
code is like I cannot lie.
just say it's the best. Like, don't even say I've had bigger, but this is the best or whatever. Just say
Yeah.
this is the best, because it's all about gentle parenting his
Yeah.
penis. But you can do what you want. I think either just saying the lie because it's never going to come up again, hopefully, or avoiding the question with the compliment or complimenting it in a different way are all ways to get past this. But I also think if you're a guy listening and you want to ask this question, unless you're fully okay with the answer being like, nah, man, Dave's packing a cannon, like, don't ask it. Also, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Like, it genuinely does not matter, because if it mattered, why are they here hooking up with you? You know what I mean? If it mattered in the way that you're probably going to take it, they're not with what's his name. They're with you. Presumably, you're asking this to someone you're hooking up with for a while. If it's a one night stand, you got to calm down for sure. So it's like, just take a breath. It doesn't fucking matter.
Take like 4 minutes out of your day and read the Reddits dedicated to different penis sizes, and you'll notice that bigger does not mean better, and the same way that smaller doesn't mean worse. And there are so many people out there who are just like, I care about attention to detail. I care about, respect. I care about them caring about my pleasure. Are there going to be size queens out there? Yeah, of course. Are there going to be people who only want to hook up with the biggest dick, and if it's not over a certain inch, they're going to be shitty about it? For sure. The same way that there are dudes out there who are shitty about breast sizes and stuff like that.
And that's the thing. Are you looking at your partner and are they the best you've ever had in regards with like every single facet of their being? Probably not. So like, that's okay to you, obviously, because you like this partner, you're with them. So why would you ask a question and then invalidate yourself based on that, when like the likelihood of them beating the metric in every regard is also very low?
Yeah.
So like, just take a breath and be kinder to yourself. But yeah, if you're asked this question, it's up to you. But
it's a minefield. It's a trap for your
trap,
friend. It sucks.
And they've laid it on themselves. I don't like, it's less that they're trying to trap you and more that they're trying to inadvertently hurt themselves. But like, you don't have to. All right. This is by RD in Berlin. Why'd I say Berlin so weird? That's going to be.
I was like, are these like fantasy characters? Are these Lord of the Rings characters?
Well, maybe it is Berlin. Maybe it's like Merlin's brother. Is being a sleepy guy a massive turnoff? He's a 30-year-old male. She's female, 27. Recently had a date with someone that seemed to be really up for it. Went to 2 different bars, ended up holding hands and kissing. Conversation was great too. Ended up back at her place, drinking some beers and listening to music. I guess the beers got the best of me and ended up being really tired. I didn't try to escalate anything because of this. Crashed in our other room and I noticed a shift of energy in the morning. It was friendly still, but platonic. Throughout the last night, we'd stated how much fun we were having and already planned on hanging out more. Hung out for a bit and she had to work, so I offered to leave. As I left, I went for a kiss, which we did about 3 times before she gave me her cheek. It felt like a slight rejection, but I rolled with it, said goodbye. I've since tried to set up another date, and she's suddenly being flaky. Did me being too sleepy ruin things? This happened before where I slept with a girl and the sex was good, but I immediately dozed off right after. A specific girl ghosted me afterwards. I was confused because we had such good chemistry before, and again, the sex has been a lot of fun. I have a condition that makes me way more tired and is difficult because I enjoy a beer or two. That combined leads to the aforementioned problem. Any advice appreciated?
I need to be on the wall of this apartment to really answer this question. But here's my gut reaction to this. It's not that you were sleepy. It's that it may have looked like you drank too much and passed out.
Yes. There's a lot that like we don't need to go too deep on to realize. Like, you're kissing, you're making out, you're back at hers. She probably wanted things to continue and like to have a fun night and go home, and then your partner's just like, good night. It's a bit of a letdown, right? Like,
well, it doesn't.
It
didn't seem like immediate, right? Like, it seemed like they were hanging out.
I don't know. I kind of got like a sense of immediacy from it, right? And on top of that,
they were hanging out, drinking beers, and listening to music. That sounds like there was time before. Like, it doesn't sound like he went home and was just like, as soon as he got to the door, he was like, I'm sleepy now.
Yes, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it's immediate in terms of like things were building. Like, you go home and it seemed like they were like leading towards somewhere, and then he's just like, good night, right? Like, it doesn't seem like I think if it was a very natural, and then we got to the end of the night and I went to bed, it wouldn't have been a question, right? There has to be an immediacy because he's like, oh, I'm so sleepy, right? If it was just like the night ended and I went to sleep, this wouldn't be a question. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's an element of him being so sleepy that he cut things short,
Yeah, I
or
imagine
else it wouldn't be remarked on.
well, I mean, like, I think you could get progressively sleepier over the period of, like, if they went back to the place for like an hour and like
Yeah.
you keep having drinks and every drink you get sleepier and sleepier.
Sure. But what I'm saying is the sleepiness came too early, right? Or else this wouldn't be an issue.
Sure, yes, yeah.
That's what I mean. In terms of the immediacy, it's like the night wasn't done. Because again, otherwise it would just be I slept at some point and no one would be upset. Right. So it's like the sleepiness got in the way of what was going on. Like I didn't initiate because I was too sleepy. And like if the sleepiness hit so hard, like were you even meant to stay over? Right.
That's the other thing is that like I think it could be that like she was like, oh, this guy got so drunk he passed out in my apartment and then I had to just like deal with that.
Yeah, like we didn't fuck. He just fell asleep. He stayed over. He was in the other room. Like that also seems kind of strange. It's like if you guys were like again, maybe it was agreed upon, but like it just feels like you kind of were a damp, like a wet towel over the end of the night. And again, short of knowing your condition, which we don't even know, Dane's totally right, where it just feels like you drank too much and kind of like ruined the end of the night a little bit and then stuck around in the morning, which again, if she didn't even want you over that night, you hanging around and kept trying to kiss her and everything in the morning kind of sucks, right? And then she was like, oh, eventually she had to go to work. Guess what my number one excuse was when I wanted someone to leave in the morning?
Gotta go to work.
Gotta go to work. So
I think you need to like this dude needs to evaluate like the scenario, right? Was the implication that like, oh, you guys live so far away or whatever, and it's so late at night that the only logical answer is to crash? Or was it sort of like, you know, where was the decision to spend the night together? Because it didn't seem like it happened. Otherwise, as Nell said, you would probably sleep in the same bed together. So it sounds like you were kind of imposing and you wanted to like be like, well, you know, I'll sleep on the couch or whatever. That doesn't sound like high chemistry to me, because even if I was hitting it off and I didn't want to make a move, I don't think I would, if I was so uncomfortable staying with them and not in their bed, I would go home. Like I would leave. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm so tired, I guess I'll sleep on your couch. That's weird.
Yeah, I've never stayed over at someone I'm on a date with or hooking up with's place and not slept in the bed with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I'm going to spend the night, I'm going to spend the night with you and not like as a sort of 1950s sense of valor and honor being like, well, I'll sleep on the floor. It's like, no, you're not fucking high school students in a rom-com where you need to like show that you're a good guy. You are on a date with someone presumably that you want to fuck.
And you're making out and you went home. Yeah. And again, it's like you obviously sleep got in the way of where the night was going. And like, it's not hot. Like if I was with someone that's like, I'm just so sleepy. It's like, okay. Like again, I don't know
if that's particularly fair. Like if I was on a date with someone and we'd been drinking, you've been to 2 bars and then we came home and then they started getting tipsy or like kind of wobbly, I wouldn't be like turned off if they were like, yeah, I got to call the night here.
I guess I'm like when I look at that, that's a reasonable thing. And I'm just assuming this person was sleepy in an unreasonable way because they're describing it themselves as a problem. So I'm saying if it became a problematic, like, you know, if I went home with someone, all of a sudden they just like couldn't function and were so sleepy, again, I would just assume they were hammered. But either way, I'd be like, why are you here if you know that you were at that point? And if you didn't know you were at that point, you should kind of know yourself better than that. Yeah, if you just got sleepy in a normal way, again, that's fine. But then we wouldn't have this question.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm looking at it as like, we've been drinking, we go back to the place. And I'm looking at it from, you know, if the person I was with did what he did and was just like, I'm fucking crashing. And I like, you know, I'm done. I don't know necessarily if that would be again, unless it was like, we were sitting on the couch and he like you are like mid beer and you're
and that's what I'm assuming.
So
I'm assuming it was because there didn't seem to have been a conversation about the staying over. Or if there was, it went weird. Either way, he's saying that drink or sleeping is a problem for him, right? So maybe don't drink. Like,
or know what your limits are, right? Like, you say you have a condition. Is it the medication that's acting this way? Is it the condition that's acting that way? Like, you know that X amount of beers, or if you don't eat enough during the day or whatever, then like you take precautions. It's the same way as
have
like
an espresso martini at night.
Yeah, like whatever the case is, I know that like traditionally, if I get pretty drunk, I don't exactly function at my highest performance sexually. So if I was on a date with someone, I wouldn't drink that much if I thought that we were going to have sex. It's not that like I didn't want to have another drink, or I just knew that like my body, I know how my body works, and it doesn't make any sense to put myself in a situation that's going to result in something that isn't ideal for the date situation.
100%. And like, it's kind of the same with like getting too drunk or blacking out, or like if you're going to be messy or shitty after X amount of drinks, don't have those drinks. So I think you got to look into it, because you got to understand that if you flip the switch, or like suddenly you're too sleepy, or like if it's an issue and you know it is, you have to then measure how to deal with that. Or at the very least, let them know like, hey, I have sleep sickness, and it's highly likely I'll get really tired, and just like let them know, so that one, when you get sleepy, they're not weirded out or take it personally or think you're fucked up. And two, if she's like, oh, well, like it's late, I was going to ask you back to mine, you could be like, yeah, I'm actually pretty wrecked. Yes. But let's hang out next week because this is a lot of fun. Like, it's much like breaking up with someone. Sometimes it's better to end a date before it goes poorly than wait for it to just like drag on and get, shitty. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to know what you are capable of. And that's not to say every now and then, do we make mistakes? Have I gotten too drunk on a date and been like, well, I do want to go back with you, but like, I know this is, obviously I didn't give the full reasoning why, but I knew that like I needed to cut this date short because it wasn't going to be an ideal end to the date. Mm-hmm. And it's, as Nell said, it's better to be like, well, it is, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm a sleepy boy.
That's when you hit them with I got work tomorrow. Goes both ways, motherfucker. It's just fucking go home. And then it leaves them wanting more, as opposed to sick of you.
And you can like make it a sexy thing too, and being like, I want to make sure I'm at my best. I want to make sure I got all the gas in the tank for you. Because, like it can be fun. It can be playful. It can be.
Got to make sure I got that sexy boner fuel for you.
Yeah. I want a full tank of boner gas.
Mm-hmm. My balls are busy making piss. I want them busy making jizz. People love that line.
Yeah. Don't do
know your limits. Know your limits.
Also, like, go home, people. Don't stay at your date's house unless there is a very good reason to. And the very good reason to is you guys have fucked and you've both like KO'd and it's a natural thing, and you are just bathing in that warm afterglow of a really good hookup, and you guys both pass out and you wake up and you're like, oh shit, we crashed, or you're invited. Those, in my opinion, are the only two reasons to stay. And the third of being like, we've hooked up and we've stayed up too late and I have no way of getting home safely. Yeah. Those are the only reasons you should ever stay at your date's house. Invitation, you pass out mutually and after, for a reason, like you're cuddling in bed and you guys just drift off. Or you need to because of safety reasons. Only reason. To invite yourself, that's crazy. Don't ever invite yourself to stay over.
And that's the thing. You should always be conscious of that. Like, you're imposing and you're in someone's space. And it's like, you should never stay unless you are, one, willing and excited to do so. And two, they are also willing and excited for you to do so. If you get the idea that they're like, you can crash, I guess, like, just leave. It's better for them. It's better for you. No one wants to have to deal with someone, even if you really like them. Sometimes you just need your fucking space. Sometimes you want to be able to put your pajamas on and like not think about them, not be active, not be present, not worry about how your breath smells the next morning or whatever, to just fucking crash. And that's totally fine. Don't get offended if someone wants you to fucking leave, but do be aware. Do be aware and ready to make yourself leave for them.
Yeah.
It's a kind thing to do.
I mean, like, you and I both struggle with this, and we've talked about it before, being like, it's not that I didn't want people to stay over. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were some times where I didn't. But like, I just knew that, great, you're going to be in my bed and you're going to be in my space. And I'm going to get real weird because I'm not going to sleep and I'm going to be all fucking sketchy, worried that you're going to wake up at some point in time. I'm going to be wide awake. And it's not like I can go play a video game for another couple hours because I think that's rude. And so I'm going to like, I don't want to be on my phone in case, you wake up.
The light wakes you up or whatever.
Yeah, like, so instead I'm going to sit awkwardly in my bed wide awake, hoping that you don't wake up and be like, why the fuck is this dude wide awake at fucking 5:30 a.m.? And then I'm going to be really tired the next day.
Yeah, I just know I'm going to lie there and suffer till the next morning. And then if you want to hang out, but I'm fucking exhausted, it's like, great. Whereas if I slept, I would want to hang out with you.
Don't take it personally. and you don't know what situation people are in for the reason that they don't want you to stay over.
Yeah. Hundo P.
I mean, now, like if I was single right now and someone wanted to stay over, I'd be like, you don't, because my cat is a psychopath and you will not sleep. He will lose his fucking mind. He will wake you up. He'll probably hit you in the face for some fucking reason, because that's what he started to do. Go home and get real rest and don't deal with my psychotic nightmare cat, which some people will probably think is an excuse, but it's the truth. I'm saving
That
you.
is Dane's excuse. He doesn't even have a cat.
Dare you. This is Slow Detail, feeling weird about liking feet. So recently, my girlfriend and I were laying in bed together, and she was lying towards the bottom of the bed, and I was laying with my head at the top of the bed. We were just on our phones, and she randomly touched my penis with her foot in a playful way. Keep in mind, we're both still fully clothed, and she had socks on. She was patting my penis with her foot, and next thing you know, I'm rock hard. After feeling that I was hard, she sat up and said, "Oh, what's going on here?" I just responded with, "I'm not sure, but don't stop what you're doing." I haven't really been interested in anything feet related before, so I wasn't sure why I liked it so much. She kept lightly rubbing her foot on me until we got up to eat dinner. We didn't really talk about what happened, so I thought it was the end of it. A few nights later, we were lying in the same position on our phones. She starts doing it again, this time fully stroking my penis with her feet. Again, we were fully clothed and she had socks on. It doesn't take me very long to get hard, but this time she sits up and tells me to take my dick out. I thought she was going to give me a blowjob, but then she takes her socks off and gives me a full-on foot job. I finished really fast and all over her feet. We talked about it afterwards, and I realized I have a foot fetish, because ever since the first time she touched me with her foot, it's all I've been able to think about. Obviously, she already knew, and that's the reason she surprised me with a foot job, but I still feel strange about it. Don't get me wrong, I loved it, but I feel weird or creepy talking to her about her feet. She keeps on telling me that I'm overthinking it, it's okay, and it's not weird. But I just can't get rid of how creepy I feel about asking for a foot job or anything foot related. Am I overthinking? I know it's super common fetish, but how do I stop feeling weird about it when I clearly like feet? She's okay with it.
I want to know what it was that made her be like, "Oh, this guy's got a foot fetish," and he didn't know. Like, how many times were you like, you know, the Hulk is going to step on someone in a Marvel movie and you're like, "Hold on. Oh, I love this still." And she's like, "Okay." And you're like, "Hold on, just pause it for a minute." Yeah, don't know why. And you've got like a rock, you know, like, or was it just when she tapped your foot? Because like, I don't know, depending on what age you are, if anything was touching my dick from my partner, I'd be like, "Yeah, let's go." It wouldn't be that I'm into the foot.
Any stroking of my penis would get, like, I don't have an elbow fetish or a forearm fetish. If that
when
is
people elbow the shit out of his dick, he's ready to go.
I feel like any sort of stroking of skin to skin contact, or just like any sort of like contact with, so I think what he's saying is that, like, yes, I think she figured it out once he got super hard the first time she did it.
No, she knew somehow. She knew. He's been doing foot stuff for a while.
But maybe there has been like a little, you know, every now and then he's lingered a little too far on her tootsies.
I gotta say, and I think you know it, you are overreacting, especially like in every way, because like, one, it's a fetish. You're allowed to have them once you're being respectful and kind, and, you know, like, everything's
not
consensual.
Thrusting them upon, yeah,
if everything's consensual and it's not hurting anybody and it's not illegal and, you know, all the usual caveats, it's like, that's totally fine. But you're also with someone who not only initiated this, but seems incredibly down. And I don't mean seems, actually, because she said, "I am okay with this," and you are overreacting. So it's like her words, she's fine with it. Like, what's the issue? Do you just feel a little bit of shame because you've internalized that you think liking feet is weird? It's not, obviously, because you like them. And also, it's like, I could understand this a lot more if it was a more niche fetish. Like, I would be a little bit more like, "Oh, okay, you want to shit on someone." I understand that you're like, "Oh God, I have to come to terms with that now." But like, foot fetish is such a mainstream fetish at this point, in my opinion. Like, people talk about it so openly and so commonly. It's not like a very like, "Oh, we speak of it in whispers."
Like, do you have a foot fetish in the sense of like, do shoes turn you on? Do just her feet turn you on? Like, there are levels of fetish where some people are like, "I'm into bondage," and that might mean you have a silk tie wrapped around your hands in front of you.
Yeah.
Other people want to be like strung up from the ceiling, completely naked, wrapped in ropes, and completely bound and constrained. Like, different
Shibari
things.
isn't handcuffs, you know?
Yeah, there's a spectrum of stuff, especially within a singular fetish. So it's like, are you jerking off to just pictures of feet? Like, there's things like that, right? If
Also, is it just novelty and kind of like the taboo nature that kind of got you off? Like all of a sudden she's doing something new and unexpected, and you admittedly feel like, oh shit about it. Then that's what makes it hot. Like, is it that you have a foot fetish, or is it like, oh, she did this brand new thing I wasn't expected, I reacted to it, and in the moment you're like, oh, this is naughty and this is whatever, and that heightened it, and it's a new thing? That all checks out for me.
like, I have a hard time calling it a foot fetish if someone uses a body part to stimulate me sexually. Like, it's like, I don't have a hand fetish when someone gives me a hand job.
Fair, yeah.
I don't have a mouth fetish when someone gives me a blowjob. Like
Yeah.
she's using a part of her body to instigate a sexual act. That's fine, but like, I don't necessarily really even think you have like a full blown foot fetish unless
Fetish. I like it.
a footish, unless there is like an external component of being like, I like when she wears stockings. It turns me on in certain socks. Her shoes turn me on. Like bare feet just turn me on. Like all I need to do is see them and they sexually arouse me. Like,
Unless
otherwise
this was the like moment where you're like, aha, it all came together and it like, and you get all these flashes from the past of like, why was I so horny? And it was feet. That's a very good point. Like, I think it's as likely, unless again, you've had this realization and since then have just been on Foot Finder nonstop. It's possible it's just a hot new thing that she whipped out that you were like not ready for. And that doesn't mean it's a foot fetish.
Yeah, because like there have been times where I've had like going down on my partner and they'll do like a playful stroke with their foot on my dick, and that feels good. But like at no point in time I'm like, oh shit, her touching me with a body part must mean I have a fetish. Like, and I don't want to downplay your discovery either. I don't want to be like, you're not kinky enough, you're not fetishy enough to like. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to help you. If you're concerned and you feel shame and you feel like it's gross or you feel like it's weird, it's no weirder than a hand job or a blow job or it's. I think that it transcends into fetish territory when there's like non-sexual things that arouse you.
That's fair.
Outside of, right? I could be wrong. I'm sure there are people who are far more educated with kink and fetish who might disagree with me, and that's a very valid position. But
as we said, we're not infallible. We can be wrong.
Yeah. I just think if you're navigating shame and guilt or feeling weird about something, frame it in the context of being like, I wouldn't be weird if this was a hand. I wouldn't be weird if this was a mouth. I wouldn't be weird if this was, her boobs, right? Like no one's like, oh, I have a tit fetish because someone gave me a tit job. Like people, we don't talk like that. I think it's just because society has been like, feet are gross, feet are weird. And it's like,
and also talking about foot fetish is so established. If someone said boob fetish, you'd almost be laughed out of the room. It's like, yeah, we love boobs. We all know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's right. But importantly, if you do have a foot fetish, it also doesn't matter and you shouldn't feel shame.
No.
You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. Again, once people are consenting, once you are not committing crimes, once you aren't being a piece of shit, if you just like feet and you're doing it in a healthy, safe environment, especially in this instance, which is with a supportive, sexually exciting, exploratory, also cool with it partner, fucking hell yeah. Get them feet around that dick.
There's absolutely no harm in expressing this to your partner. It seems like you've already kind of talked about it.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
There's no harm in being like, I'm still feeling weird about this. And I can't shake it. I don't know why. And just bringing it up, just talking about it and getting it out, because anytime you internalize any sort of shame or guilt or whatever, you really only have your shame and guilt to bounce it off of. Yeah. So it's just kind of like a ping pong thing of just like snowball collecting more guilt and more shame and feeling worse about it. Whereas if you get it out, now you're bouncing it off someone who is going to comfort you or is going to accept you and is going to be like, it's fine. No, it's not weird. It's not gross. It's not whatever. And you're going to be able to sort of like whittle down that shame and guilt if you're willing to trust your partner. Whereas like if you just keep it inside, well, the only thing you have is more guilt and shame because you're feeling guilty and shameful about this.
Yeah, it's just going to fester.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're good. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Now, me and Dane are going to show you our feet. And if you get a boner, we've solved your query.
I'm not giving away feet for free.
No, well, they'll have to go to Patreon to find
the Patreon. Yeah.
Yeah. I got some weird toes right now because one of them's jacked the fuck up. So
yeah,
like real thick red toes.
You're in a niche foot fetish. I'm sure there's someone out there who
Yeah.
Wants to see some.
If you like injured feet, hit me up on Venmo. We'll make it work. Thank you, friends, for being here with us. We love you, each and every one of you. Unless you're terrible, in which case, why are you here? No, you wouldn't be here if you were terrible.
Or maybe you are terrible and you're trying to grow, which is the whole point of the show. You could be terrible in a process of healing.
I think the act of healing is itself not terrible.
Yes.
I'm trying to throw him a bone, Dan. We love you, Germany. Thanks for holding strong in our top ranked country right now, still, I believe. And that's fucking badass. So
where'd you come from?
Danke. Yeah, if you're German, you're listening and you want to just reach out and say where you found us, why there's an influx. Maybe it's your fault. Maybe it's you. You're the one person that was like, hey, listen to these guys. We want to celebrate you. And if you're not German, we love you too. And you got to get a couple hundred people and get up those charts. We love you all. Seriously, we have a lot of fun doing this, and you make it all possible by listening, rating, reviewing, sharing, joining our Patreon. So if there's anything in that list you haven't done, please do it. If you've done some of them and you could do them again, such as sharing a video, commenting, telling a friend, adding us on a social media that you haven't added us on yet, please do. And we will see you next week after I thank Josh Eagle and the Harvesties for their song Paper Stars, and I read out some bad sex writing. Carla and Hannelore walked fearfully along the path that led from the laboratory entrance to the open gate. There they hesitated and looked at one another. Hannelore said, "We're frightened of freedom." Behind them, a girlish voice said, "Carla, don't go without me." It was Rebecca, running down the path, her breasts bouncing under a grubby blouse. Now, these are children, 13-year-old children, and they're escaping a concentration camp.
Cool.
And Ken Follett decided, hey, you know what would be perfect in this instance? Talk about their tits.
Yeah, not like, mud splashed up onto her dirty skirt of, like if you want to like throw in some details, some adjectives into the running, you can do that. You can talk about what happens when she runs.
Stumble down the path after them. She could limp, for example. These would all develop the story, maybe. You know what I mean? Set the scene a little. Tits bouncing? What story are you trying to set when they're fucking 13, Ken?
Ken, check his hard drives.
Epstein, Ken? I don't know. Could I say that?
We just did, didn't we? My name is Dave Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain.
We've been your fuck buddies.